Well, hello, and welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse and my creative oasis in the trees. I'm so happy you're here. I have some fun tonight. I'm super excited for the project I'm sharing tonight. It is what I like to call a creative bliss project. It's one that I made and just had that giddy feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. So much fun. So I can't wait to share that with you today. And if you don't know me, my name's Melissa Kerman. And I am Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. And what you see behind me is my wonderful space that I love to share with you and love to share paper crafting projects. So say hello when you join in. And if you'd like, tell us where you're from. I love to have conversation with people as I do my lives and know who's out there and get to know you a little bit better. So I see some people saying hello. Hi, Jelaine. Hi, Sharon. So glad to see you here. Thanks for sharing this video and reminding me. Please share, tag your friends, share this video, follow my Facebook page, all those good things. If you're watching on YouTube, on the replay, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I mentioned last week, I'm going to mention again, I am getting really close to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is super exciting. That's kind of a major milestone. So please subscribe if you haven't already, share with friends so friends can subscribe. And if you ding the little, click on the little bell on YouTube, you'll also get reminders and notifications of when I post something on YouTube. Hi, Nell. Hi, Megan. Hi, Donna. So glad to see you guys joining in. Wonderful. Oh, it's wintry in Wyoming. It's actually cold here today. Well, 30s in the morning, 40s, 50s during the day. Not too bad. I like winter in the South. Much better than I like summer in the South. I'll say that. So anyway, I have a super cute project for you today. You might see it over here off to the side. I'm going to be doing some freehand watercoloring. I've been seeing people doing these on Instagram and on TikTok, and I just thought, I got to try this out. And I played with it today, and it was super quick and pretty easy. And I hope you love it and want to do it too. So before I actually show you the project and what we're working with, I wanted to show you a little bit about what I've been playing with, because I have been playing with some of the new stuff just to kind of entice you a little bit, to show you some of what I have. Well, so can you see behind me? This bad boy, this box arrived just 2 hours ago. It's my pre-order, and it includes all of the consumables from the mini catalog that are part of product suites. So what's coming next week is a product shares walkthrough. So we'll open up that bad boy or that good girl, whatever you want to call it, that box back there, and be sorting it out and showing you the product shares next Thursday. So stay tuned for that. So really fun. The other thing that I have over here that I want to bring on camera, this has been so much fun to play with. It's really just parts and pieces. But it's sort of the beginnings of what will likely be my January club and January, February class and online club. So I've been playing with this technique. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but check that out. Is that not cool? So much texture, so pretty, so earthy. And I'm using one of the suites. The name is escaping me because, oh gosh, because, you know, there's too many names to know. But anyway, there's a little sneak peek, and I'm going to tell you what the name of the suite is. It's the Nature's Sweetness Suite. I showed some of the products last week, and I did get to play a little bit. These are the beginnings of some of the projects that I'll be offering soon. So stay tuned for that. Super fun. My camera's a little wonky there. Okay, so let's switch the camera over, or show you what I'm working with today. So I've got using a sentiment from the Brightest Glow stamp set. And this is the card that we're going to be doing. So I posted on Facebook. This is freehand watercoloring. I have never done this before quite this way. And I don't know if you guys have been seeing these kinds of ornaments shown on Instagram or you know, TikTok or whatever, but that's where I've seen it. So I just thought, I got to play with that. So much fun. So I hope you guys are going to love this as much as I do. Like I said, it's sort of a creative bliss project for me today. Let's see. I know 50s during the day sounds wonderful, isn't it? It is wonderful. I love our temperatures right now. So let's see what else. I got to say hello to people I haven't said hello to. Hi, Patty. Welcome. And if it's your first time watching, welcome from Arizona. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So we'll set those off to the side. I wanted to show you a little bit about my process for when I was doing this. So this is my creative play this afternoon. I was playing around with the sizes for my piece. And so I wrote out some, this is actually bigger than my piece ended up being. And I was playing with different size circles and with the placement of my circles, just to kind of get an idea of what I was going to do. And then I played with different shapes to get different sizes of circles as well. So this is my sort of fun, like little creative play sheet of how I came to this design today. So what we're using is, let me grab some paper here, get a work surface so I don't get my table all dirty. All right, there, put that stamp set off to the side. We're going to be using Starry Sky, Pretty Peacock, Blackberry Bliss, and I've got a piece of watercolor paper here. This is the magic ingredient. Got to have watercolor paper. And I'm going to put a silicone craft mat down just to protect my surface and give me a nice surface to work on. All right, so next I need a water painter. It's got some water in there. Oh, my water painter is almost out of water. Darn. I need more water. Oh, darn it. Okay. I have another one here off to the side, but it's a big one. So I'm going to actually refill this. Should have checked this before I went live, but I used so much water today. Okay, so we're going to see how this works. I'm going to actually use one that's filled to fill this other one, but I'm going to do it off the workspace so I don't get it wet. So we're doing that off to the side here. All righty. Close that one up. Bring that one in. Now I'm going to want some paper towels as well. So I'm going to just bring a little bit of paper towels in there. Now the first thing I did was I tried to figure out the sizing of my circles. And what I did was I grabbed a bunch of different containers. I grabbed my little, embossing powder container, the lid of that. I played with my re-inker bottle. Let's see, what else did I play with that? And I have one other thing. Oh yeah, and then this, this bottle here. So I was playing with the lid and the bottom of each of these things. I thought about using bigger shapes, but I was kind of working in a small space. Hi Sharon, hi Mary Beth, welcome. So glad you're here. So what I'm going to start with is, and this is kind of funny, is I'm going to grab my Starry Sky. I'm going to start with that one first. And I'm literally using this circle. Now, I have seen people online do them with bigger things. Like I grabbed this glass because it's got a really nice rim, but that's really big. Like that's if I'm going to be doing a bigger piece. So obviously that doesn't work for what I'm doing. So I had to get creative with the circles that I could find. So we're just going to go ahead and ink up that top rim there. And I'm going to just gauge my spacing here. And no 2-1 is going to be the same, okay? That's for sure. Okay, and now, okay, we'll start with that. And so now I'm going to take my water painter and I'm going to squeeze some water into the circle, inside the circle. So just bring that up to the camera. It's, it's a little bit of a broken line circle, but it'll be okay. Okay, so I'm just going to wet it in the center. And then I'm going to actually touch where the ink is and go around the edge of the circle. Now, as I do this, I'm getting ink on the tip of my brush. And the water painters come in 3 sizes. This is the smallest of the three. And can you see that well? Yeah, got to get it in focus. Where's the second size? I thought I had a second size over here. Where did it go? Anyway, there's three different sizes. I don't know where it went. This is the smallest one. The biggest one actually has a flat, big, wide brush. But obviously for this, I need something that's really fine detail point. Okay, so, and this is not going to be perfect. I'm just telling you that. And again, I wet in the center. And now I'm just going around the outside edge. Basically picking up the color onto the brush and moving it around. All right. All right, I'm going to wet it a little bit more in the center. One of the things I love about watercolor paper is how the ink moves on the paper. And the ink will only go where it's wet. So I'm staying inside the circle, and that helps control where the color is going to go. And if it's really wet, then the color spreads in a really fun way. So I've taken just a block, an acrylic block, and I took my ink pad and just dabbed it there on the edge. I also put a droplet of ink on there also, just to get a little bit more for my play. This is the Pretty Peacock in the middle and the Blackberry Bliss on the end. So I'm basically using this like a color palette. I might need to add more ink as we go. So I'm just going to pull up some ink from there and start adding more color to my ornament bulb. And I want it to kind of look like there's a light spot. Move that over there. Definitely need your paper towels so you can control the color. I want it to be lighter up here in the corner, up in this area here, but I don't want it to be totally white. And I can also go around the edge with a darker bit of color to kind of even out the edge and make it a little bit more, a little darker. So that's what I'm doing now. And as long as it's not wet outside that line, it's not going to go outside the line of the ornament or the circle, as the case may be. Okay, I'm going to just leave this for a little bit. I'll probably come back to it when it's dry and mess with it a little bit more. Okay, so for my next one, I'm using my Pretty Peacock. Open that one up. And for this ornament, I actually used the bottom of my ink refill. I played around with using the actual lid on the inside, but there's sort of a texture or a shape to that. So like if you look at my little practice sheet, it's got little lines around it. That's the shape of the inside of the bottle. So I ended up deciding that the bottom was actually a better surface to use. So we're just inking up my ink refill bottom. Isn't that cool? Too funny, right? Hi, Jan. So good to see you here. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Mary Ann. Oh, it's been so long. Hi, Mary Ann. Yay. It's so good to have you here. Hi, Carol. Yay. So fun. Okay. So let's get this green one in here. And I'm just trying to get my spacing. Now, when I do this one, I want to make sure that my line, that my green one is far enough to the right so that when I do my string, it's not going to bump into that ornament. So yeah, so, and I did pretty well on that. So now this has green on it. So I'm not going to put it down on my table, my work surface, right? Because then I'm going to get green on there. So got my little paper towel here handy. I can grab that off to the side. And then I'm going to make sure my water painter is, you know, doesn't have any ink in it. And again, I'm going to go into the center of my little circle with the green. Squeeze some water out if I want it to be really wet. I'm going to fill in the circle, and then I'm going to go along the edge. So as I touch the edge, you'll see the ink starts moving to the center. Let's bring that up to the camera so you guys can see it. Little bits at a time. Now I intentionally am doing the ones that are not touching because they're easier to do. The ones that are not touching, you have to worry about the colors bleeding. And if they are going to touch, you want the first one to be dry. Okay, so it's all wet in there. I've blended my edge. And now let's see if I have enough ink. My pretty peacock over here to do a little bit of color on the inside. Okay, so you can see when it's really wet, it just kind of spreads and feathers and creates all kind of pretty shapes in there. I love watercolor for that. So that's what it looks like right now. This is sort of a puddle of water there in the middle. And I'm just touching it. We'll leave that be just the way it is for now. Let it kind of dry a little bit, at least in the center. Let's actually grab a little bit of darker green. Now, one thing I discovered is that I put an ink droplet on here, but if the ink is too thick, has too much pigment in it, it will sort of get stuck on the paper. So you have to be really careful. It won't move on the paper. It'll just get stuck, and it just has a totally different look. So hopefully this is, I got enough liquid in here. I think I do. It doesn't happen with every color. It seems to be with the certain colors, it happens more. I'm trying to get more green on here. I want the darker green. There we go. Darker green without it getting stuck. All right, you just kind of play with this. Watercolor paper is very easy to work with, I think, because it's really forgiving. Now, I'm just going to leave that for now. But if I wanted to dab that up, I think maybe I will actually. I'm going to grab just a little corner of my paper towel, and I'm going to kind of wick up the moisture that's there. And I can even squish it up and dab it in that opening to get that sort of shiny white spot that I'm looking for so that it looks like light. All right, I'm going to stop there for right at the moment. And now my third ornament is made with Blackberry Bliss. And for this one, I used the bottom of this. It's this frosted white all-purpose ink. It's a retired thing, but the bottom was the perfect size for what I wanted. So I'm going to ink that up. You can see the ink on there. And then this one is going to overlap, and I think it should be okay because I think that's dry enough. And we're going to overlap a bit. Okay. You can see it's not very much ink, but it really spreads out when you add the water. Okay, let's make sure that I have no more green in here. If I mix the green with the Blackberry Bliss, I'm going to end up with like a brown. So I really want to make sure that that green is all the way out of my brush. That's why I didn't have much water in there. Look, I hardly have any water in there anymore. I've used most of it. You might have to refill yours too. Okay, so let's add some water. Now here, I'm going to just add water to everywhere but where the purple is. All right, it's really starry sky. Whoop, nope, I touched it and didn't mean to. It's okay. You can see I got that tip of that brush. right along the line, and it just pulls the ink from the line. And then we're going to go ahead. Now, if I touch the starry sky, it's going to start blending with it. So I'm trying to just go up to the edge, but not actually touch it. All right, let's grab some ink over here. How's everybody doing? Hi, Lorley. Hi, Cindy. So good to have you live, Cindy. Glad you're live here with us. Okay. This is one of those things, coloring in, right? Takes a little concentration, focusing. All right, I'm going to get some of that ink off the brush so that I can come in here in the middle and not get super dark color. Okay, let's work on this at the top just a little. All right. Now I have to remember how I did this little section in here. I have more overlap on this one than I did on the last one. And I think, what did I do? It was just this afternoon, but okay. I'm going to actually go over it. Now it's dry, so that's a good thing because I can go over it with color. Here, let's show you what it looks like right now. And it should actually do a layer over that purple. So we'll see a little bit of the Blackberry Bliss, and it kind of mixes. It'll become a little bit of both colors. This one I just had a little bit of overlap. This one I have more, so it's going to be more noticeable. Crossing my fingers that it turns out as pretty as the other one did. Okay, so we're going to go over it with the Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going in the area where they cross over. So now it's got a little bit of that Blackberry Bliss. It almost looks like it's in behind. It's hard to really... Oops. Okay, now that's a mix of colors, so I got to be careful I don't bring that mix over to the other spot. So I think I want to play a little bit with my, add a little bit more color to my Starry Sky ornament. A little bit more depth of color in there. Okay, rubbing off the excess color when I want it to be lighter because I can just pull the color in from the outside edges. Okay, I think that's about what I want. And there, I want it to be just no more color, but I do want to blend what's there. All right, I think I'm going to stop there. So that's what I got. Now they look like three little circles, but now we're going to go ahead and make them look like ornaments. Okay, set these aside. Don't think I need my ink anymore. Close those up. I hope that looked easy to you guys. It really is pretty easy. It's some fine detail. So that's the one thing, obviously you have to pay attention to is that as long as you have a nice fine tip brush, let's see if that's pretty fine. You're pretty good to go on doing this. Okay, I do have one other thing to watercolor. So I'm going to do that. And this is going to be for the inside. And I didn't yet do it for my original card. So we're going to just go ahead and wet this whole thing. I'm squeezing my water painter. So the whole thing is wet. And now I chose three colors that, like I said, if the green mixes with the pink, that's not going to be a good thing. It'll turn brown. So the Starry Sky is kind of my bridge color. So I'm going to do some Starry Sky in the middle. Just do kind of a little wash here. And then I'll do some Blackberry Bliss on one end. Blend the two colors in the middle. We'll end up with sort of a purple in the middle. Make sure all my color is out so I don't get that brown. And then we're going to add the green to the left. And this will dry and look really pretty and become a nice element for the inside. All right. Mix those a little bit in the middle. And mix those a little bit too. All right, we'll set that aside and it'll dry and we can use it later on the inside. All right, let's go on off camera. Onto my paper towel over here. Take that away. All right, so next up, make sure my surface here is clean so I don't get any ink where it doesn't belong. Now I'm using one of the Stampin' Up! Black markers. This is a new style of marker. The fine point end is different from what it used to be. And let's compare because I have the old one here. This one is the old one. That's what it looks like. And this is the new one. And the new one is superior. It's just so much better. And there's so much more ink on the tip. This hardly has any ink on it. It's very faint when you draw with it, but this one has a lot more color. So I'm excited to have this new marker. So I'm going to grab a ruler and I'm going to spy the middle of my ornament. And I'm just going to put a little black dot. So now I know where to go. I'm going to go slightly to the left of that dot because my marker will tend to, it's going to be a certain thickness, so I don't want it to be justified incorrectly. So I'm just going to go straight up like that. I'm going to do the same thing on my green one. Pretty peacock. So I'm just going to the left of the dot. And then with my Blackberry Bliss. Now, I imagine if you made a bunch of these, that you'd actually probably get pretty quick at it if you want to make a bunch of these. And it's a really simple card, so the watercoloring is really the main thing that takes some time. And I am just going to freehand draw a little bow at the top. Super simple. Now I saw other ones that people did where they actually had the little ornament topper, like the metal thing, but these were just easier to draw. So I went with the easier. I don't usually do freehand. This is definitely outside of my usual comfort zone. Oh, what happened there? I somehow switched it over to show me instead of the piece. Don't know how that happened. All right, so we got a couple other little things to do here. So you can see on this one, I've got some specks on here. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. And I'm going to bring in a box so that we isolate where we're doing it. Now, I like these specks. I'll show you the difference between the two. Just because it kind of, I don't know, it adds a little bit more interest. It feels a little bit risky to do it because I don't know that it's, it's going to turn out different every time. But we'll see. Crossing my fingers after I've worked so hard on my little ornaments that I like this. It should be fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my water painter. Got my paper towels here off to the side. Do I have enough water in there? I think I do. And then I chose to do blue since it's really the bridge color. So I've got my blue on here, and I'm actually going to test it out on my white paper first. So I'm just grabbing some of that ink, stand up here, and then I'm just going to tap it with my bone folder. Now I think I need a little bit more of my re-inker because it looks really faint. So I'm going to add another droplet of ink to my block, my acrylic block. And then I'm going to squeeze some water onto it so that it's not too crazy intense color. So let's try it now. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right, here we go. There goes nothing. Let's grab a little bit more. Okay, a little bit at the bottom. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to stop there and set my brush aside. And now I'm going to bring in something else. Now I've got my Wink of Stella brush, and I now realize I'm okay. So you guys aren't seeing my my stomach here. Okay, so I've got my silicone craft mat, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of my Wink of Stella onto this silicone craft mat. And I'm just going to hold it up here for the moment. I have some on there, but I'm going to do a little bit more. So I've got some of that on there. And then I'm just going to pull that up. Now, if I wanted to dilute it, I could put a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol in there. I'm going to try doing it without. The one I did earlier, I did with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it. But this one, I'm going to go ahead and just do it straight up. Now, again, I'm going to remove that and just kind of test it myself. Of course, I can't really see much, so forget that. We're just going to do it. I'm actually really liking the way that's looking right now. Okay. So here we go. So this is going to give me specks all over on the ornaments and around the ornaments. I think Estelle is good for like everything, right? Let's see how it looks. We can see it up. Probably could do a little more. Okay, we'll stop there. Now, one of the things I thought about, I'll just take a look at that. You can see it a little bit on the ornaments. It's pretty subtle, but pretty, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring that off to the side for now. Now, one of the things I thought about, I'm going to ask you guys what you think. I thought about doing it on the starry sky area in the background. I'm going to give you guys a chance to think about this, but this is what it looks like in the background. So if I'd had it on here, I do this a lot. I take a scrap and I try to figure out whether I think I'll like it. So tell me what you think. Should I do the Wink of Stella specks in the background, or should I keep it as is? So specks on the starry sky or no specks on the starry sky? That's what you would write. That's what you would tell me. Tell me what you think. While you think about that and you comment on that, we're going to do something else. Okay, so I've got my card base, starry sky card base. I've got my white inside. I'm going to use my watercolor piece on that. Now, one thing that I love to do is do things in a way where it gives you choice. So look, I've got seasons greetings on the top and the bottom. When I did it on one side, I felt like it was too close to the bottom. But the way this design works is it's such that if I don't like how I did it on that spot, I can do it again on the bottom. And if I don't, and then I can do the same thing that way. So I did the first time I did this, and it felt like it was, I don't know, they look almost identical. But basically you have those two spots to do it in. You can also do the back sides. You have 4 tries to get it right. I think about these things. Okay, I see you. I see a no specs. Is there anything you can do with a Mica if it dries up? Well, not really. Once it's there, it's going to be there. Sharon says no specs. I see 2 specs, on the okay, so I'm seeing 2 and 2 right now. Okay, keep voting. Keep telling me what you think. The other thing that I thought about doing was making my Starry Sky a little bit narrower. So you can see this. So that's what we're going to do on this one to show a little bit more of the Starry Sky on the side. So the Orchid Oasis a little bit smaller. I said that wrong. So, and one other thing I'm going to try is we're going to see what it looks like with the Sentiment heat embossed in black, because the color is dark enough so you kind of don't see it very well. So I kind of want to see what it looks like, and then that'll be another design choice that we have. So I'm going to lay that down there so that I know what my spacing is. Got my Versamark, my Sentiment, and again, this is from, the Sentiment is from the Brightest Glow set, using that Season's Greetings. Ink it up, stamp on the bottom, and I usually stamp my Sentiment on my cards on my work surface so I can kind of gauge if I'm getting it straight or not. This one was a pretty easy one to get straight. All right, and then we got black embossing powder over here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Now I'm also going to have 2 sides to work with, right? I'm going to have this side and this side. So we can choose which we like in the end. Okay. So let's go ahead and heat emboss this Season's Greetings. So we want just the perfect balance, right? We don't want the Sentiment to overshadow the ornaments, but we also want it to stand out so you can actually see it. So that's kind of the balance that I'm looking for. And we'll see if this heat embossing helps or hinders that balance. Okay, so there's the heat embossed. Okay, I'm going to actually sit down again. And let's see what we think. So let's go ahead and attach this together. I did my spacing just a little bit. I went up a little bit higher. Don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. So now I want to trim off a little bit of the bottom. Just looks too, okay, I'm going to trim off 1/8 of an inch. Doing this off camera. I'm going to do my black piece trimmed as well. Just 1/8 of an inch. Oh no, where'd that come from? Maybe this was still wet. Oh no, this is still a little bit wet. Alrighty. I think maybe I have to dry this a little bit more so I don't, I'm getting stuff where it doesn't belong. Okay, so let's just dry that a bit. And then let's go ahead and just attach these pieces together. You see I got I got a little bit of color in there. Let's see what we can do with that. You can see there's still some wetness on here because this spot just got a bunch of specks of color on it. So have to be careful not to rub it anywhere else. Now we're going to go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and do the specks on this side with the heat embossing. And since I've got this little, you know, bit of ink there, it'll cover it up if it's, you know, so we won't see it. And that way we can experiment with seeing what it looks like. So we're going to do the Wink of Stella on this. So I've got my little mat here. Just going to grab that. And let's see what we got. And I really only need it near the edges, but make sure I get some down around that sentiment also. All right, that's what we got. Some specks all over the place, kind of fun. Let's see what it looks like on the card. Doesn't really hide that, whatever that is, Blackberry Bliss, but it's a little less noticeable. Move this stuff aside so I don't end up getting something else in it. And let's see what the piece looks like on with the specks. So there it is with the specks in the background. It's a subtle little added bit of interest. That's the plain background. And of course, the sentiment is stands out a little bit more as well. And then let's turn it over and see what that side looks like. Because I do have the wider edge of the, okay. So this is the way the other one was, except for I've just got a little bit more starry sky on the sides. I don't know. Yeah. Sharon, you like the embossing? I think I do too. It sort of helps it to stand out a little bit more. And I think the specks are actually okay on the background. So we're going to go ahead and just go with that one. Put this puppy together. So does anybody else have the reaction that I did to this one, which is, you know, like it's a little creative bliss. Just fun, makes me happy. Okay. Now for my focal piece here, I actually stacked up some pieces of scrap black cardstock. The scissors over here. These days, most of the time, I can't get myself to use dimensionals because it just pops it up so much, and I just don't want that much pop. So I have tons of scraps sitting around, especially black because I use black all the time. So we're just going to stack a bunch of these up. And what I did on my first card was 3 layers. So that's what we're going to do on this one. And I'm just sizing them so I know it'll fit in the back. And whip this together pretty quick. So for this, the perfect thing to use is your white glue. Stack these up. I don't know about you guys, but I have so many scraps sitting around. And I feel good about using them, you know, otherwise they're just sitting in a drawer. Okay, so we got 3 layers. And then we're going to go ahead and stick these on the back of the focal piece. Of course, they're black, so they'll they won't show. If you look on it at this on the side. All right, home stretch here. All right, I'm so glad you like the specs, Ruth, and the embossing too. Yeah, I think it makes the sentiment stand out just a bit more. And of course, on this one, I have the extra starry sky. I'm still trying to decide how much I like that. But what's done is done, right? But I love these little ornaments, and so pretty easy to do. Isn't that pretty? And it's such a simple card. So the sentiment, it really stands out quite a bit better on the one on the right. Now I did shorten this just by 1/8 of an inch since I had extra down at the bottom, and feel good about that bit there. So there we go. Let's do the inside. I have the one dried piece for the inside, and that's what it looks like now that it's dry. All the colors blended nicely. And I don't need the full width of this, so we'll trim off whatever we don't need. I keep every last scrap of watercolor paper because it really comes in handy when you're experimenting with color combinations or when you need like a strip like I'm using here. And yeah, can't waste that watercolor paper. I'm just going to trim that off with my scissors. And I'll go ahead and put that on the inside. I've got another scrap for my second card. Haven't watercolored it yet, but I will do that. Let's go ahead and finish this one off. Now, you could do lots more ornaments than this. You could fill up the whole thing. You could work on a bigger focal piece with bigger sizes. Just go and find whatever circle shapes you have in your crafting space and just play away. So there you go. They're so pretty. Do they make you happy? They make me happy. I love them. So you like what I did on the second one? The best? Very good. What do you guys think of the bit of extra starry sky on the side? Do you like that? I think it's okay. I don't know. It just brings it in a little bit more, which I kind of like. I kept the edges small on the top and bottom, but just, yeah, I don't know. Each a little bit different and fun. Okay, so what else do I need to share with you before we finish up? Let's go ahead and just a couple of reminders. Again, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Help me get to my 10,000 subscribers. There's a new mini catalog and celebration brochure coming out the beginning of January. And if you want a catalog from me, if you're a regular customer of mine, if you've spent $50 in the last six months or a little bit longer, I usually go a little bit longer, I automatically send catalogs to those people. If you are not a regular customer of mine, but you'd like me to send you a catalog, there should be a link in the description of this video. I think I put it in there. And you can purchase the 2 catalogs for $5, includes shipping. And I will get those out to you as soon as I can. I have ordered those catalogs. They're going to be in. They should be in, hopefully, sometime next week. And I hope to be able to get them out in the mail by the 3rd week in December or earlier as soon as I possibly can. Oh, Jolene, I'm so glad you liked the card. And Cindy, wonderful. So, and then product shares. Okay, so for product shares, I mentioned last week, I'm doing my Taste of a Sweet product shares. They're sweet based. So that means for 8 of the 10 that I'm offering, the shares that I'm offering, they're based on a sweet. So you get a little bit of a bunch of different products in a given suite so they coordinate. So one of the things that Stampin' Up! Is amazing at doing is product coordination. So I'm trying to, help work with that as my theme, because I think it really helps us as crafters when we go to design. So I'm also doing a new sampler option. And this I've never done before, but it's basically going to be, you can get a little bit of all 23 products, 23 different products for $51. So you'll be getting a little bit of everything that I'm offering in my shares. Now, I'm not including the Memories and More cards in the sampler, just the suites. So that is the 10th share, is this sampler option. Those details, I'm going to show you and assemble samplers when I do my Facebook Live next Thursday. I'll be showing all of the products. I'll do the whole walkthrough. That's what I do. I show all the design papers and all the embellishments and all that. So much fun. I love doing that walkthrough. Just really fun to show you guys all the products. And of course, they're in my box right here behind me. I haven't even unpacked that box. I haven't even opened it. Still sealed shut. So anyway, that's what I'll be working on this week. So yes, next week I'll be here Thursday, 12/14, 7 p.m. and with that product shares walkthrough. So I got to show you the beautiful cards. Got to end with that. So let's bring me over here for a sec. So these projects will be in a blog post on Saturday. This video will go live on YouTube on Saturday. And then next week, I'll have a PDF tutorial for these projects as well. I put PDF tutorials in my newsletter. So newsletter subscribers get almost every week I have a PDF tutorial. This last newsletter yesterday that went out had 3. So the one from the preceding week and then 2 additional ones. So yeah, lots of fun, free resources for you guys to recreate the things that I share with you here on Facebook. So I hope you really enjoy that and take advantage of those free tutorials. So let's see, anything else? I think that will do it for me. Make sure to follow me here on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me get to that 10,000 subscribers. And of course, share this video with your friends, tag your friends. The more you guys spread the word for me, and the better it is for my business and keeping me going and keeping me sharing all of this good stuff with you guys. So thank you so much for joining in. And let me just try to catch up on comments here. Let's see if I'm missing anything. If I didn't say hello to you, I apologize. I missed your name. I like to say hello to everybody if I possibly can. I love the colors too, Megan. It's just such a pretty color combination. And if you look at my logo, my Melissa's Crafting Treehouse tree, it has kind of all the colors in it. It has some of this Blackberry Bliss and sort of purplish and a green. So this is really very much a go-to color combination that I really love. The colors are in my logo. So yes, I love it. Hope you guys will give this a try. It's really a lot easier than you might think. So have fun. I hope I've inspired you to create, and you are all super welcome. And we'll see you next Thursday for the product shares walkthrough. Oh, hi, Lee. I don't remember saying hello to you. So I'm so glad that you're here, and thanks for saying hello. All right, everybody. Bye. Happy crafting. Mwah. I'm grateful for you. Bye.